Good morning everyone, welcome to Our Small Footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. We're still on the whole food prep chain of videos at the moment. Today we needed to get bananas sorted. So this is post my 6-weekly grocery trip. We always try and get all the food sorted that needs to be sorted to make sure that it lasts the 6 weeks and perhaps beyond, and that nothing gets wasted as much as possible. We try very hard not to waste things. So today we did the bananas. So I bought a whole box of bananas. They were quite green when I bought them, but they had been gassed, so they were going to ripen fairly quickly. They're packed in plastic, which is inconvenient, and I forgot to pull them out. So the skin ripened up quite quickly, and then they had that like external layer that was quite ripe, but the middle was a little bit chewy, so that was a little unfortunate. But anyway, the kids ate them anyway. They love bananas. So we had to sort the bananas out, what hadn't been eaten in the meantime. So we're doing that today, getting those bananas sorted. I have the kids help me make banana bread, so I have a whole snippet of that I will probably just put music over and then share the recipe and stuff like that. But we also froze them up and things like that too. So enjoy watching, and I will see you again tomorrow or the next day. Thanks guys. Alright, so our banana bread recipe is really simple. It is a one that I do in cup measures because the kids really like to help making it, so it makes it easy if it's just done simply. We use the Thermomix because it's, again, nice and simple. So the kids helped me make the banana bread. The 3 boys were helping me today, and that always makes it take twice as long, if not more, than it would if I was going to be doing it myself. But it is still a nice simple recipe for them to help out with, and it doesn't fail very often. So even if their measurements are a little lackluster, the bread's still normally very edible. So my banana bread recipe has 3 to 4 bananas depending on the size. Again, we don't do huge significant measurements for this one. I use 1/3 of a cup of oil. You can use vegetable oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use olive oil, whatever you want, just something mild tasting. 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. You can scale this down a little bit depending on the sweetness of your bananas and if you're going to use any add-ins or anything, but I just gave them a 1 cup and said don't fill it sort of thing. 2 eggs, 1.5 cups of just plain flour, and 1 teaspoon of bicarb, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, pinch of salt, and then I like cinnamon in my banana bread, and I like a generous amount, so I do a heaped 1/2 tablespoon of cinnamon in my banana bread. And then we always add chocolate chips. So I have added walnuts before, chocolate chips, slivered almonds, fruit. Generally speaking, the kids, they like the chocolate chips, and what kid doesn't? They're not huge fans of walnuts or anything like that in there, even if I really enjoy it. So I add chocolate chips, and I normally just add a couple of handfuls, and these are just dairy-free dark chocolate chips from Honest to Goodness that we bought in bulk. So I add that to my mix as well. So you mix all the wet stuff up, then add the dry, fold the chocolate chips in, and pour it in a pan. I use the large, these are the jumbo size Mackey's bread tins. They're just what I've got convenient, so that's what I use. And I cook it for around about 45 to 50 minutes at about 180. But disclaimer, as always, there is that I cook in a hooded barbecue. The temperatures are inconsistent, and it's a little bit different to cooking in an oven. So that's my guidelines and in that size tin, but you'll have to sort of experiment with that a little bit. I'm using the Kmart loaf liners too, which are really great. They're not meant for this size tin, but they do fold in there quite nicely, and the batter doesn't seep out the sides of it either, so that works quite well. So enjoy the rest of the footage here of the kids making the banana bread and the fun that they had. So as you can see, even though the kids were making it and the measurements left a little to be desired, it slices up beautifully. It's got a really nice texture to it. It's very moist. It slices into holdable slices. It doesn't go crumbly or anything, and you can just see the smattering of chocolate chips that are through it. It's not excessive, but there's enough there that the kids feel like they're getting a treat and things like that. I used the new Victorinox bread knife that I got too, so I've been using the chef's knife or the Santoku knife a lot, but they gave me a bread knife too, and I haven't cooked bread yet. I really need to bake a loaf of bread so I can try out this bread knife. But I used it on the banana bread, and it feels like it will be wonderful with bread, so that was great. The rest of the bananas needed to go into the freezer. So because our temperatures lately have been getting up at like 33 degrees during the day, it's really not friendly for bananas to last very long. I don't like storing them in the fridge because the skins go black and they just look yucky. So we tend to freeze them. So all I do is I peel them, break them in half, lay them on a tray and freeze them. And then once it's frozen, they're flash frozen, so they're not sticking together. I stick them in a Ziploc bag that I keep aside purely for bananas. So it goes back in the freezer when it's empty, pulled back out to put more bananas in, and store it in the freezer for smoothies and smoothie pops, and the kids will actually eat it just frozen if they're given the opportunity to. It depends on how many bananas we have, if I allow that or not. So they all just get broken up, stuck on trays and frozen for later. So we got that done as well, and that was it for today pretty much. I didn't really I just haven't spent a huge amount of time in the kitchen lately. So even though there's like plenty left to do, I just have other things that I've been getting done and I haven't spent a whole lot of time. So each day I'm trying to make sure that I get a task done that really needs to be done. As I said, we're trying to make sure that nothing gets wasted. So these bananas had to be frozen before they were inedible. And then I used some of the skins in water for a fertilizer drink for the plants. The pigs got to eat some of them too, and the rest went on the compost, I think. So we got them done, and that was the main thing. But it was a fairly brief day in the kitchen, but I wanted to share the footage of the kids making the banana bread because I enjoy watching it, and I know that some of you guys really enjoy watching the kids participate in the kitchen work. So enjoy watching, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.